Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today I'm participating in the Rustic Wednesday, but on Saturday collaboration that is hosted by my friends Shelly from Repurpose My Way and Dawn from Shabby Meets Bling. Today I'm going to be doing 3 rustic shabby chic projects. So let's get started on the first one. I have this very rustic birdhouse that I got from the Goodwill many years ago. As you see, it was super cheap. I can tell it's handmade, and it was dressed up for Christmas a little bit. I did put all this on here because it's broken on that side, and that's the way I got it. But I got to take all this Christmas off so I can paint this to make it to be more shabby chic. So I'm going to use my Waverly Plaster color here, and I'm just going to do a whitewash on the whole thing with this color. You can see how it changes it so much just by doing that. I'm going to try to do this lightly first, and if I want it to be a little bit whiter, then I will add more. I am kind of liking this color that it's turning out. All right, let me go ahead and get this finished and we'll get to the next step of the project. Now that it is all done, I even did the roof. I am going to be wanting to dress up the roof line just a little bit, and I have all these different moldings here to choose from. And I'm not sure what to do to covering that yet, but I do definitely want to get some of this on the roof line. So let me go ahead and get the mold that I'm going to use and get my clay. So I'm just going to use my Crayola Model Magic, and this is the mold that I'm going to use. Just going to use this one right here. Let me go ahead and get a little bit of it rolled out. I'm going to stick it in there really quick here. I'm going to pop it out. All right. So I'm just going to use my moldings just on the outer edges of the roof line on the front and the back. Just going to cut it off with my X-Acto knife. Get a cut at the top, and then I'm going to go ahead and get the other pieces done. Let's get this smaller piece done. I don't have to do a long one. There we go. And I'm going to get it trimmed up and trim off the other side. All right, I have that done on both sides, and I just stuck some clay in here just to hold that up because I'm going to go ahead and hot glue this lace on. I think that's going to cover it up nicely. But I have a little problem right here because you can see this is handmade and they didn't center the birdhouse on the base. It's not broken, it's just the way they did it. So I'm going to go ahead and do this little rope design with my clay, and I'm just going to put that on the front only. I'm not going to do the rest of the sides, just on the very front. So let me go ahead and get this in here. All right, I think that will look pretty. Just like that. I need to cut it off a little bit. All right. And I'm going to set that aside and let it dry. Got to let that dry for a day. But I need to do some decoupaging on here. So I'm going to be using this napkin here that I got off of Amazon. Isn't this pretty? So I'm just trying to decide my design. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I just want to have a few pieces here and there. Let me just cut this off right here. I think I'm going to use this. Just going to use my Mod Podge and put it on. Get lots of it on here. Okay. I'm going to stick that napkin up there. And I'm going to go back over it. And you can see that I have little grooves in the wood, which is kind of cool. And I'm just going to be pressing down the brush so I get everything in the groove. Okay, a little bit on the sides, and take my X-Acto knife and I'm going to cut out the hole. Add a little bit more Mod Podge. There, that looks really cute. I also want to do the side here because there's that little bit of a crack. And I need to figure out what I want to do for the bottom here. All right, so this is what I decided to do. I'm going to use this piece, going to get all that Mod Podge on there again. Make sure I get it in the grooves. And if this has a few wrinkles in it, that's okay because we are going rustic here. Again, I need to cut out for the little hole. Just kind of press it in there. Get some more on the side here. I'm going to cut that right there. There we go. All right, I'm going to finish the rest of it. And now that I have it all done here, I'm going to turn it around. I am going to be painting my mold here with light buttermilk. Just going to get this all painted up. And when this dries, I'm going to be adding a gray color to it. All right, I'm going to be using hammered iron, and I'm just taking a dry brush here. Just going to be putting it on like so. And I'm going to leave it kind of this color. I didn't want to go totally gray because I'm trying to coordinate with that lace that I want to use. Go ahead and get the edges. All right, so now that I have that all done, I'm just going to be hot gluing this lace trim on the side. Get this all covered up so you can't see that nastiness going on. Okay, got one little section left. And I'm thinking about putting some pearls on here too. Let me go ahead and get the other side done. All right, now that I have that done, I also went along and did some of the pearls. Kind of want to cover up, where you can see in between the roof line and the molding. I'm just going to cut off the end, tack it down. And looks like this one messed up just a little bit. All right, so I've got all my pearls on here, and I just thought I'd make a little bit of danglies on the side. I don't know, it just wasn't looking right. Just using some cream colored ribbon and some more of the pearls. Okay. And then I have these little blingy buttons that I got from Hobby Lobby that I'm adding on the ends. And I have a bigger one that I'm just going to put in the very middle. And I did add another row of pearls, as you can see, on the front there and on the back. The next thing I need to do is add these little poles. These are cabinet poles that I've had for a few years. Just have to drill a little hole in here for them to sit in. And they actually fit really tight, so I don't have to glue them in. So let me get this other hole drilled real quick. And push it in. And I still need to do this bottom piece here. I'm going to let this dry overnight, get it painted to look like the top part, and you know what? I don't like these dangly things. I'm going to be taking those off. There, that looks so much better. Now let's do project number 2. So I have this that I got from the Goodwill many years ago, $6.99, but I believe I got it half off. I've just never done anything with it. It's already rusticy looking. It is to hold keys. I don't know what I'm going to do with the inside yet. I mean, it must be like a chalkboard thing, but I don't need that. And I need to get this rooster off of here. He is a piece of resin. So I need to get him popped off really quick so I can get this project going. All right, so all I did was take my 5-in-1 tool and it popped right off. I couldn't believe it. I thought maybe it might crack. Just kind of try scrape a little bit of this glue off here. Going to pull this raffia off of the feet. I don't need that. We are going to use him for the next project. So my idea here is to use this paper that I printed off from Creative Fabrica. I love the way this looks. It is so rustic looking and it is perfect for either spring or summer. And actually all year long if you love bees, which I do. So I'm just going to get this cut off, get all the white part off. Then I need to figure out what I want to do. I want to cut a little bit off on the left side here because I want some more of that blue to show up. Okay, I'm just going to press right there so I know where to cut it. And we will get it all cut to size. All right, there we go. Now, I'm going to be using some colors that I just happen to find that look perfect with this. So I have light buttermilk. That looks perfect for the off-white wood, the creamy color. And the blue, I have this called Ocean Mist Blue, and I think it matches perfectly. Let's check it out. Yeah, look at that. That is like pretty much a perfect match. So I'm going to be trying to do some dry brushing technique to look like wood on the sides and on the front. But I do need to take this clasp off first because it'll be much easier to work with, but I will leave the hinges on. All right, so here we go. I'm using that light buttermilk, just going to be dry brushing on here. I still want some of this brown to come through. I'm just going to do it lightly at first and then see if I want to make it heavier. And unfortunately, the screw head on one of them for the clasp was very much stripped, so I had to use my painter's tape to cover it up. All right, the next thing I have is some dark chocolate, and I think it matches perfectly with that brown that is in the paper. So I'm just going to go along here, go over the light buttermilk, and I'm just going to randomly put on the brown. And let's go ahead and get the rest of it done on this side. I think this is looking really good so far. Okay, see, that looks pretty good. All right, now I'm going to be taking that Ocean Mist Blue, and I'm going to be adding lots of blue on here. Now I'm just going to continue doing this. And I also need to add the blue on the sides. I didn't do the brown because I still have that brown from the natural wood stain. So let's just go ahead and add the blue on the sides, and we'll see how it turns out. Okay, so actually I went back and I took the light buttermilk and I did it deeper. I just went over the brown and the blue, came back with some of the brown a little bit, and now I'm adding lots of the blue, just trying to mimic what's going on this side right here. I just wasn't liking the way it looked before. This looks so much better, I think. Okay. And I'm also taking that dark chocolate color, and I'm just going to tap it in just to kind of coordinate with what's going on with the paper right there. All right, so I'm going to get this finished up, and then we're going to do something to the inside of the key box. All right, so what I've decided to do is I printed off some more of that paper, just cut off the strips with the wood, and I'm going to do it on all four sides on the inside here. Just going to get my papers cut to the size, just going to Mod Podge them in, and I also have this coordinating one here that I'm going to be cutting into pieces and just Mod Podging in between where you hang the keys. I was trying to decide what to do over here. I don't know which one I like better. I'm not sure if I'm even going to use it. All right, so I have my strips cut to the sizes that I need, and I'm just going to Mod Podge everything on. I'm going to go ahead and do the back ones first here, and then do the sides last. And I don't care if this isn't perfectly smooth, since I'm doing this more rustic. I kind of like to have the wrinkles in it. Let's go ahead and get this last piece in. There we go. All right, now I need to get the sides done and figure out what to do. I kind of like this one, but I'm not sure. All right, so I got everything done here, as you can see. So the inside is all done. Don't think I'm going to do anything with paper on there. But now I've got to get my front paper Mod Podged on. So I'm just going to get lots of Mod Podge on here and get it stuck on. All right, so I've got it on, and this one does have some wrinkles in it, but like I said, that's okay. It just adds to the rustic look. I'm just going to smooth it out just a little bit. Yeah, I really love how this is looking. Okay. Now, here's the inside again. I think I'm just going to paint that instead with the blue color, because I think it's going to look a little bit too busy if I put more of the paper in there. But I do want to add some more embellishments on the outside of the box. So I'm going to take my Crayola Model Magic, and I'm taking one of my IOD molds here, and I'm just going to get this rolled up real quick here, soften it up. I'm just going to do this little one here. I think these will fit perfect on the corners, and it just dresses the box up a little bit more. So let me go ahead and get this one done. I'll show you what it looks like. All right. So what I'm thinking is to put it like this and kind of bend it down a little bit. And I had one more that I had done, but I'm going to do 4 of them, as you can see. And I'm going to paint them with the dark chocolate. I want to have these brown instead of like blue or the off-white. I think the brown will be pretty. So I'm just going to go ahead and get all 4 of these painted up, and probably going to take a couple coats. And once it's dry, I will get them glued on with some E6000. Yeah, see, I think that brown looks really good on there. All right, so I have them done. I actually went over them with chocolate brown metallic, and there's the ocean mist blue on the inside. But you know what? I need something right here. I wish I had something that said keys. I just don't have anything. But I do have these stamps that I think will look kind of pretty. I'm just going to use black ink, but to put it on really lightly. I just like this little design. Kind of gives it a French country look too. And then I have a little bead that's kind of the opposite of the way that one is. I'm going to put it on that flower. All right. I think that is all I'm going to do. I think this is all that needs to be done. You know, I could put something there, but I'm not going to. I like it the way it is. All right, so here is my last project. So this is a picture frame that I've had for many years. It already looks kind of rustic, and here is that rooster. And it's going to go in here. We're just going to put it in here. I took the glass out. I'm not going to need the glass since the rooster is dimensional. I have a piece of cardboard that's going to fit into here. It's going to push it in. And I'm probably going to put some kind of paper on here, even though you could just use cardboard. I kind of like that color. So I'm going to go ahead and use the light buttermilk again. And I'm probably going to have to coat maybe 2, possibly 3, because I know I have this red and the black that I got to cover up. So I'm going to go ahead and get him painted. And while he's drying, I'm going to be making some molds. All right, so I've decided to use this one right here. I'm going to do 2 of them. Again, using my Crayola Model Magic. I love this foam clay. I like to work with it because you can bend it real easily. And it does take a little longer for it to dry, but that's okay. It's really flexible, you know. All right, so let's go ahead and get this one done. Pull it out. I'm just going to kind of shape it a little bit. And I have 2 of them. I'm just setting them in here for now so you can kind of see how it's going to sit. Just trying to figure this out. They got to be spaced out a little more. I don't want them together. So I'm just going to take some of my clay and I'm going to make a little oval ball here. And I'm going to just stick it in the middle. I think that will look kind of cute. And I'm also going to add 2 other little balls on each side of that one. Now let's do the background. So I've drawn my line here so I know what I need. Going to just use my Mod Podge. I have this really cute papers that I got from Temu. Check these out. I really like these. I was deciding between these 3 and I picked that one, but as you can see, these are all really kind of neat looking. Look at them. You get so many different ones. I love them. So this is the one I decided to use. So I just want to make sure that I stay within my lines, especially at the top and the bottom. And the paper is just a little bit too small, but that's okay because I decided just to take my lead pencil because it kind of is the color around the edges of the paper and just kind of fill it in. So let me just kind of line this up here. Kind of want to put it over the line. There we go. Let's go ahead and stick it back in and see how it looks. You know, you could actually just leave it like this. So it looks like I'm gonna have to do a little bit with that lead pencil. All right, so this is what I did. I took a brown and a gray and put it on there and it just didn't look right. I don't like it. So I'm gonna take my warm white instead and paint the rooster and the molding. Now, while those are drying, I want to dress up the frame just a little bit with some jute, and I have these little satin flowers. I'm going to take the rhinestones out and replace them with some pearls. I'm going to go ahead and put some jute in here first. We're going to go around the edges. Let's go ahead and get this done real quick. Last piece. And it doesn't matter what it looks on this corner because this is where the flowers are going, where I pieced it together. There we go. All right, so I need to get these little rhinestones off. It looks like they're just hand sewn on, so easy to pop off with the scissors. And got the pearl in there instead because I'm going to be using some pearls. Let's go ahead and get this one cut off. And this one's a little more difficult. Let's get it there. Does not want to come apart. All right. Let's go ahead and get that pearl inside of that one. And I'm just going to hot glue them on like this. Okay, so, second thoughts, you look at it, say, I need more. I need more. So I decided to cut some lace, and I'm just going to hot glue it in this little section right here. This was a little more difficult to do because I have to cut them on the angles, but I tried to line up the best. And I think I'm also going to put that jute on top of it after that is done. To figure out which direction I did this. There we go. Let's get this one glued on. And I might have a little bit of difficulties around the flowers, but I think I can make it work. Okay, let's go ahead and get this one. I think if I just hold the flowers up and kind of slide it underneath. There we go. And tack them down here in the corners also to make sure they stick together. Now this one's a little more difficult, so I'm going to start here first, and I'm going to try to push it underneath the flower. You have to kind of push it back there the best I can, just tack it in this spot. All right, so I have that other jute on there, and I decided to put just these pearls in the other three corners just to dress it up a little bit. And now, actually you could leave it just like this. I think it looks nice, but I need to add my molding and my rooster. And I did take a little bit of that brown and the gray that I used before, mixed it together and just lightly brushed it on there. So I think it looks really nice. So let's go ahead and get this hot glued on. Go ahead and put this one on first, line it up where I want it. Kind of put the rooster about right there. Okay. All right, this one is done. Now let's see how they all look together. I love how these all turned out. These are so cute. I really love my birdhouse now. And my key box looks so much better. Now be sure to check out everybody's videos. I will have the playlist link down below in my description box. I also have Shelly's channel link and Dawn's channel link too. I want to wish everybody a very wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.